Hey guys, this is Rachel Feldman. I am so excited to be here with my good friend Angie. Angie is going to talk to you about the Done For You programs and how she successfully uses them offline. Now, I always tell people you don't just have to build an online business to have success. The way that I built my business and I built that brand and that authority and started cultivating that trust was offline. And as I was doing that over the years, that built my online business. So I'm very excited to have Angie here to talk to you about her amazing practice that is very busy, which is great. We all want that because these days I'm seeing too many coaches who are either close to quitting, have quit, or don't know what to do. And we are here to tell you that doesn't need to happen. So thank you, Angie, for taking time out and being with us and talking about your business, the Done For You programs, and how you have brought them in.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be here. I'm really happy because I have had a fantastic offline business in my city, which is a small city in Canada. For me, I always thought, to be successful in a coach, I had to have this really big group, and it really wasn't like that. So I've been focused mostly as a life coach and fairly general, and always because of what happened for me, I was diagnosed with bipolar about 8 years ago, and a lot of my healing came from food and different things like that I was able to help people on that one-on-one basis with the emotional side of things, but then I would tell them to eat well, and I would tell them to do these things, and then they'd go off their merry way, and they really didn't do it. So I just didn't have these tools. So I joined integrative nutrition with the intention of really bringing in that body, mind, spirit part. And then I came across Rachel's programs because I was trying to do this on my own in between times and at 4 in the morning and all this stuff over that. It was just crazy. And I was like, this is brilliant. And so it really didn't take me long to just go, thank you for this. I've already just used it all with my offline clients. And the exciting part for me is that I'm expanding in that, so I'm really focusing more with women in depression and anxiety online. So it just gives me that framework where I can bring what my specialty is going to be into something that has an awesome foundation to it. But the great part was that I've been using it already without even doing that. So yeah, so I was really happy to share that with you.
So can you tell me, when you were looking at programs, and I know that there are tons of programs out there, tons of Done For You anything, what was that differentiating factor for you where you said, okay, this is in alignment with me, this is the program that's right for me? What made you choose these programs compared to anything else?
Well, I'm not entirely sure this was a deciding factor for me, but I'm going to say it is right now. Once I did join, so there were so many great things that you had offered with the opt-ins. It's just things that looked so professional and beautiful. Everything was very beautifully done and really well done. I could see that there was also the mind part into it too, and so that really resonated with me because that's where I excel or I focus on. But the big turning point for me was actually when I was on the Facebook groups and I was watching all these dialogues, and you have this amazing team, and there were people that would ask hey, I've got this concern, I've got that concern, and I was learning so much from you guys. It was just fantastic. And so it just became this really fabulous support, and I was just so impressed. And from there I was actually going and telling other people that I've in with integrated nutrition is this is actually something that we're not getting, and I found that to be you guys were just so awesome with that. So I learned so much from you, and then I've even kind of specialized even further just because of what you and Sarah and different sharings that I had seen. So thank you.
I mean, one of the things, and I talk about this always with coaches, is that I know that anyone can deliver a Done For You program, but it's we really, as coaches, we can go to school, but we need to be coached beyond that, in the sense that it's for some of us, it's real plain and clear, like, oh, what do I deliver? But I remember the fear. I remember thinking, what do I deliver my clients? I felt like I was fumbling through handouts. I didn't feel, concrete. I had confidence in what I knew, but I didn't have confidence in what I was delivering. And that was why at like 2.5 years into my business, I was like, that's it. I am creating a program. My clients need to just have a system. And I realized that when they had a system, I had a system that I was teaching them already, but once I put it into a format, it was like I could breathe and I knew, okay, well, this makes sense. Like I got better with a clean eating program. And the emotional aspect for me has always been huge because it's never the food on the plate. It's never just that. I mean, of course, you're going to eat crappy food. It's not going to work. But I've worked with some of the healthiest people eating the healthiest food and didn't work on the emotional stuff. And they were sicker than some of the people that I knew who ate crappy food.
Completely, absolutely. You can't have that inner critic and hating yourself healthy. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work that way. Fantastic. I mean, that's really what it was the systems, right? So it actually helped you to go from, in any kind of practice. Like I think that's what's so neat about me is, I've got the really offline practice that's very good and stable, and then the transition of that. Mm-hmm. So the systems behind that were really helpful as well. So.
And can you tell me, I mean, I think when you said Sarah, I just want to explain one of the things that I decided, I want to say a few seasons ago was to bring in coach moderators because, one, there's only one of me, but to bring in coach moderators who have been with me for like pretty much the whole entire time that I've been doing this so that they can support you because they've had success. And so, again, I go back to that thing of so many coaches who are struggling in different areas of their business. And so to have that forum where you get that dialogue, where somebody says, oh, maybe you should try this or maybe you should try that, has just been an important part. But can you also, speak to kind of the content? I think that's what people always wonder. Like for me, yes, things do have to be beautiful. I truly believe that people buy because they see something beautiful. So I spend a lot of money on making it look beautiful. But can you also speak to that content and how you what you really enjoy about the content?
For sure. Yeah, because I didn't know exactly, like you put this great video sort of showing everything that you had, but I didn't know exactly what I was getting until I got my little package and then I unfolded it and read through it. And I think that's really what very much impressed me. I could tell that there was so much thought and care and detail to it. So it wasn't just kind of this blanket kind of whatever. I was actually surprised at the depth of it. With the content and even just the variety and the recipes and different things like that. They were just fantastic. And I'm not a foodie. That's not my thing, is to do that. So have all that, and again, like there was just, I could tell you really knew what you were doing and that you'd gone through all this and you'd taken all of your clients through that. And even from there, because I'm in this kind of fairly beginning stages of this with clients to this degree, that actually gave me also just that sense of comfort as well, because there was definitely that depth there. So yeah, absolutely, the content was fantastic.
And that's what I always say to coaches. Like when I write these, it was always with my clients or myself in mind. Like really, how do you bring that body and that mind and that spirit and the physical part all together? How do you remind people that it's not just like, here, eat this, that it's really like doing that, doing the journaling, doing that work, but making every program so that your client didn't feel like it's do this so black and white, and that it's really about like progress and not perfection. And, for me, every one of the programs, when a coach says to me, whoa, are you going to be able to tell my client what to do? I'm like, that's not what coaching is about. These are programs that are I always use the word holistically minded, even if the program is like the weight loss program or the easy weight loss. It's like, I think of people like Cynthia Pasquarella, who, really is about like, do not, like, you can step on the scale, but don't think the scale is going to define you. And I think that speaks to what you and I were talking about on the emotional side of it. Like, to really empower our clients to almost be their own coaches with us as their guide.
Absolutely. And, and connecting with your body and really connecting to the parts of kind of why they got to that place in the first place. I mean, there was enough there for people to just be able to reflect and take that back. And what I also loved about it too was that there was these constant reminders to put my own uniqueness into it if we wanted to. Like, it actually, that was the cool part, was there really didn't need to have any of that. But I love the reminders because it was like, okay, Ange, just do the work and get put myself into.
You mean like in the opt-in freebies where I would say, insert a little part of your story? Yeah.
Because you could just like cut that out and throw it out there or whatever. But yeah, I think from coaches that when they're looking and starting and because this is part of what you're trying to help people with here now, just in our discussion, is just realizing that who you are and what your uniqueness is. Even though you have these fantastic do-it-yourself programs, right? They're all there for you, but that part of you that comes out is really going to be what connects to clients, and that's what you can bring to these. Like that was what was so amazing about that.
Yeah, that's why I always talk about the sales conversation does not start like when you get somebody on the phone. Sales conversation starts when somebody downloads your opt-in freebie and they read your story. Or, they download a handout and that follow-up email, since we do the follow-up emails with, the opt-in freebies, or even the PowerPoint. It's in the PowerPoints. It's like, insert your little story because someone's going to fall in love with you. Anybody can go, these days especially, anyone can go on the internet and download a 21-day free program. But they want to come and work with you because they say, oh my God, Angie just told my story. Or, oh wow, I was told I was bipolar too. Wow, I have to work with you, Angie. And I think that's, one, I just want to say I'm so honored that you've shared that vulnerability, because that is, I believe, what separates the coaches who make it, the coaches who don't. Anyone can buy done-for-you programs. Anybody can have a gorgeous, website, have great copy. But if you're not willing to put yourself out there, tell your story in a vulnerable way, it's very hard to have a sustainable business, no matter what.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. I would totally agree with that. Yeah.
So if you could share like one takeaway, give one takeaway to a new coach and say, you know what, look, if you're on the fence, what would you say to that coach about the done-for-you programs, the community, or anything?
Oh, the community is fantastic.
That's priceless, like the Amex commercial.
There's value in that just in and of itself. Like I'm in the morning and I'm like reading all this stuff and I'm taking notes. You guys are just rock stars. Seriously, it's just awesome. But that I learned so fast that I'm like bringing it into my day. So I'll definitely say that. But I'm gonna say, like as far as I spent a lot of time last summer. I took some time off before I was starting integrated nutrition to actually do that. And I got like about 80% done. And I was doing it. And I'm not, it's not that I can't use the computer and I can't do this myself. But seriously, like I was spending so much time. And then I never really quite finished it, which was fine. It was pretty darn close. But when I came across this, like there was just no way I could put value on that. The value to my time and coaching and everything else that I was doing. Like I'm pretty sure I sat in my chair at my computer, like probably like 3 or 4 days in a row, putting the whole thing together, and didn't get out for my runs and all that kind of stuff. So absolutely, like the time value on it was a no-brainer for me, for sure.
And I think that's a huge point, because I always say to people, if you really sat back and you added up your time of just even to make a PowerPoint look pretty, Even, one, and you'll be blown away because one of the extra things that I did was a gut rebuilding plan. And as I was going through the Dropbox doing it, when I go through the Dropbox, like before we launch, I'm always like, oh my God, this is 22 pages long. And I think like 22 pages of that's me writing 22 pages. That's me sending to an editor. That's me sending the designer. That's getting it's like I start adding up all the things. And I think, for so many coaches that either don't have the time or aren't adding up the value of what they're getting, it just is mind-boggling to me sometimes. So
100% and then some value to it. You can't do that in that amount of time. And then if you want to add your own uniqueness to it, it's super easy to do because all the bare bones are there, the formatting's there, all of it. That for me was the hugest part, to be able to just have, I'm going to make it my own because I want to focus with women and depression and anxiety and make sure that piece is there for them in another way. But the foundation, time-wise, there's no way I could put a dollar value on that.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell, coaches want to find you, we know what you specialize in, but if coaches want to find you, can you tell us where to find you, whether it's Facebook or your site? I know you said you're kind of in this rebranding, but
I have my own coaching site for the city, but what I actually just started with, it's called Mental Wellness Warrior, and it's .com. And I'm also on Facebook under that, and it's really about being very vulnerable with our own challenges emotionally, with depression, and coming at it from a really holistic way. So that's what I'm focusing on, is just bringing that information out there and then coaching women in that.
Well, thank you so much, Angie. And guys, just remember this. Angie talked about so many great points. I think, for me, it was really the infusing your story that we really heard, especially, and how easy that is. And that, yes, if you're a coach and you feel like you're going to quit, or you feel like you have to do it online to have a great business, no, you can do it offline. You can do cooking classes, so many different things. Find your medium, find it, allow yourself to thrive in it, allow yourself to spend more time doing that, more time to marketing, instead of sitting behind a desk trying to make a PowerPoint look nice. So you can find all the programs at www.healthcoachbiz.rachelswellness.com, and we will see you this season. All right, guys. Thanks, Angie. I will see you soon. Bye, guys. Take it easy. Bye.